Welcome. This is a wake-up yoga class. It's great for when you first wake up in the morning. It's also great anytime you're feeling a little sluggish. So during the day, you need a little pick-me-up. Sometimes it's our mood. Our mood is feeling a little bit down, and so this can help lift our spirits. It's using our energy and lifting it up. So it's based on Hatha and Tantra. So we're weaving together movement and sound and breath and attention and intention. And so we're going to begin. So lie down on your mat with your palms face up, the feet a little bit wider than hip-width distance apart. And you can actually wiggle the feet back and forth a little bit to release the inner groin. Nice. And then take 2 or 3 really big breaths, sort of bringing yourself here, pulling out of the momentum of your day. And feel your back melt into the earth. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the hips, relaxing the jaw. And then take your attention to the navel center. And as you breathe, feel that navel center rise and fall. Nice. So we're going to begin to shape the breath. We want the inhale to be equal to the exhale, and everybody has a different rhythm. And so I'm going to use an example of a count of 4. Yours might be a little bit longer or a little bit shorter, but find what's comfortable for you. So as we inhale, we'll bring air in through the nostrils and down to the belly, feeling the navel rise, and then exhale that fall. So it's an inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Just practice that a few more times, getting really present in your body and pulling your mind out of that forward momentum, out of all of those lists and thoughts that it's normally in. We're getting very into our bodies here, anchoring at the navel. Nice. We're wanting the breath to be smooth and equal, and the inhale to melt into the exhale, and the exhale to melt into the inhale. So the jerks and pauses are sort of falling out of the breath. And we start with this because this lays the foundation for the rest of the class. We're going to link our movement to this breath. So taking this moment to really feel it, get it established. And we all do carry these sort of pauses and hesitations. So there might still be some that are there, and that's fine. As much as possible, we sort of release them off. Nice. So then we'll begin to move. Bring your feet so they're hip-width distance apart. The legs still long on the mat. So we're going to stay long. And we're going to fill out the heels strongly. So draw the toes towards you. And feel the tailbone sort of reach down towards the low heels. Nice. And then bring your hands so that they're facing the hips. Beautiful. And then we're going to link that movement to breath. So as you inhale, press into the heels and let the arms come up overhead towards the ceiling and continue the thumbs reaching towards the floor behind you. And as the exhale happens, bring the hands back up towards the ceiling and then back down towards the hips. Nice. So practicing this 3 or 4 times, making the often unconscious breath more conscious by linking it to movement. Beautiful. Do it just one more time like this. Feeling that length that happens in the spine. Nice. And as you exhale, feel the navel continue to draw back towards the spine. This time we're going to link in some sound. So we're inhaling the arms up overhead. And as we exhale, the navel comes back towards the spine, and we're going to say yam. Yam. Nice. 2 more times. Inhale. Big breath. Navel to spine. Yam. Beautiful. One more time. Yam. Inhale the arms up overhead again. Clasp the fingers together and press the palms away from you. Nice. So as you do this, drop the shoulders down so there's space between the ears and the shoulders. And keep feeling that tailbone reach down towards the heels. And now feel the breath expand in this position, that navel drawing towards the spine. And there's a method to our madness here. We're getting aware of this because as we do the back bends, we want to make sure this is nice and long and solid. At the same time, we're beginning to open up the chest. Nice. One more breath. Really filling up the chest. Feeling that sort of sun expand there. And then as we exhale, we'll release the hands and bring them back down. Beautiful. Go ahead and bend your knees so the feet are on the floor. Nice. Take the heels out just slightly. So the feet are still hip width distance apart, but the heels are a little bit wider. We're going to bring our hands down next to our hips, palms face down, and then roll up the spine, one vertebrae at a time, lifting the hips. Beautiful. And then go ahead and reach underneath, clasp the hands together, press into the upper arms, lifting the sternum towards the chin, even as you press the head into the back of the head into the earth. Nice. And then again, bring your attention down into the chest. Start opening up some of the stagnation that might be there when we either first wake up or I'm feeling a little down or a little tired. Nice. One more big, deep breath. And as you exhale, take the navel towards the spine as you stay here, grounding it in. Nice. And one more. Inhale the chest open. And then this time as you exhale, release the hands and slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Nice. And when you're down, hug the knees in towards your chest and just sort of rock back and forth a little bit. And then we'll roll over to the right side, and we're going to come up onto hands and knees. Beautiful. So I'm going to move over here. So from here, we're going to take the right foot forward, and we're all going to get there in a different way. However you get your right foot forward, the ankle underneath the knee. And this whole pelvic structure is sinking down towards the floor. The right hip is going to draw back. It's like this right sit bone wants to kiss the inner left thigh. And then we want to take the navel away from the pubic bone. So we inhale, bring the arms up overhead, lifting that navel up, taking the tailbone down. And as we exhale, take the arms out to the side and release down. Nice. And do that 3 or 4 times with the breath. So the arms float up. They can either float up in front or to the side. And then exhale. Feel the chest lift, the navel lift, even as the hands float down. Nice. That tailbone reaching down. Inhale up. Exhale, release down. Nice. One more. Come on up. Exhale, release down. Go ahead and after you've brought your hands down, bring the hands to the front knee. And then we're going to tuck the back toes and come up into a high lunge, pressing into the back heel. That right hip is still drawing back. Beautiful. So take the tailbone down again. Beautiful. And bring the arms up overhead just for a moment. And then this time we're going to sweep them down and clasp the fingers together at the low back. Nice. Begin to straighten the elbows. Depending on your body, you might work on the straightening. If they do get straight, then we're going to take the hands away from the low back. At the same time, we're lifting the navel up, lifting the chest up, and breathing into the space in our chest, kind of opening the collarbones. Nice. Keep pressing into this back heel and lifting the back thigh. Go ahead and release. Bring your hands down to either side of that front foot. And we'll press back into a downward facing dog. It's the first one, so go ahead and bend the knees a little bit and take the sit bones and lift them to the back corner of the room so you get length through the spine. Fingers are spread wide, grounding into that first knuckle of the first finger. Nice. And then let's take the other foot forward. Beautiful. We'll drop the back knee. This time take the left hip back, like that left sit bone's going to reach under and kiss the opposite inner thigh. And then we'll lift the arms up. Nice. Nice. So again, it's a lot of the actions down here, lifting the navel away from the pubic bone. And then when that's nice and long, then we open the chest. And as you exhale, take the hands and let them float down. Navel lifts up. And as you inhale, they float back up. Feeling length in the spine, the sternum lifting. Nice. And exhale and release back down. 2 more times with the breath. It's really easy to make this unconscious. The movement is happening and the breath is off somewhere else. But the yoga is the yoking of the two. So the inhale, we get more space. The exhale, we release down. Nice. I think one more. I might have lost count there. It's okay. Exhale, release down. Bring your hands to the front knee. Tuck the back toes and lift into a high lunge. Beautiful. Press that lot of energy into that back heel. This helps the back thigh lift. Again, the tailbone's drawing down, so we have length here. And then we lift and create space in the low spine. The arms float up. And then as we keep the sternum lifted, we exhale, bring the hands behind us, clasp. This time the other finger on top, so it feels a little awkward. Begin to straighten the elbows. And if they get straight, then you can lift the hands away from the low back, really creating space in the chest. Squeezing the shoulder blades together as if they could help the heart come more forward. Nice. And then pay attention, what's happening with the breath here? How does it feel? We want to be expansive with it, but not necessarily forceful with it. So we're gently expanding, not breaking through. Nice. One more breath, lifting the navel. And then as we exhale, we'll bring our hands down to either side of that front foot and press back into our downward facing dog. Nice. So go ahead and take a moment here in your down dog to sort of explore the hips, pressing the floor away from you with your hands. Beautifully how she has her fingers spread wide. That the middle finger parallel to each other, creating space in the hip. And these aren't hips, these are wrists. And the wrists. Nice. So we're going to come forward into a plank, which means we want the shoulders stacked over the wrists. Beautiful. I'm going to press into the heels strongly, and the inner thighs roll up towards the ceiling, which creates space for that tailbone to reach down towards the heels. So if this is challenging, you can always put your knees down. So go ahead and just show what that looks like. And there's still this lovely straight line. Go ahead and come back up into the full plank. Nice. So while we're here, we're going to take the low ribs and draw them towards each other, which gives more space. It's like this expands out. The kidney area expands out. Nice. And as we're here for the next 3 or 4 breaths, and you might shake a little bit if you haven't been here before, and that's fine. We're going to exhale, take that navel strongly towards the spine at the end of the exhale, and then release it so you get that nice full breath on the inhale. Nice softening between the shoulder blades. Softening the jaw too. Nice. Navel towards the spine. Beautiful. This time as we exhale and lower down, we're going to come all the way to our belly. So keep the elbows in, so you sort of brush the elbows as you come down. Can come down to your knees. Nice. Ground through the tops of the feet. Feel the pubic bone ground down. Use the hands to elongate the spine. So we're kind of pulling ourselves forward. And then with very little weight in the hands, inhale and lift the collarbones towards the ceiling. Nice, beautiful. Exhale and release down, and we'll move with the breath 3 or 4 times. So we inhale, we lift from the chest, bringing that energy in, and as we exhale, release down. So there's a tendency in this pose to lead with the chin, which you can see will break off my energy at the neck. So we want to bring the chin in a little bit, lifting this ridge as we move up and down. Beautiful. One more will come up. Stay there for a breath or two and experience that breath moving in the chest, how the collarbones move here. Nice. Elbows reaching towards each other. And then exhale, release down. either on your knees, or if you have a strong back, you can tuck your toes. We'll press back up through plank and back into our downward facing dog. Nice. So there's another way to do that. Depending on your body and what your needs are, you might do what we just did again. The other version that you can try, if you feel strong in your body to do this, is to come forward into plank. So go ahead and stack the shoulders over the wrist. Feel the inner thighs roll up, press into the heels. That sort of solidness right through here, so the low ribs coming together. And then we'll lower down into chaturanga, so we're about 2 inches off the floor, reaching the collarbones forward. Nice. And then you can come up into an upward dog if that works for you. Nice. The chest reaching forward between the upper arms. And then we'll exhale kind of back down and into downward dog again. There you go. Beautiful. So we're going to go through that 2 more times. You can pick either version. You can come forward into that plank, chaturanga, upward dog, or come forward into plank, all the way down to your belly. Nice. Up into cobra. Exhaling, releasing back down, and back into your downward facing dog. Nice. And one more time, on your breath, following your breath, let that be the teacher. Beautiful. Nice. Staying there for 2 or 3 breaths, feeling that navel draw towards the spine at the very end of exhale, pressing the earth away from you. And then we're going to gaze forward between the hands, a little bit in front of the fingertips, and keep the sacrum light and lifted, and gently step forward into a forward fold. And then inhale, bring the arms out to the side, nice flat back. We'll come all the way up. Tailbone reaches down. Bring the hands together overhead. As you bring the hands down, keep the collarbones lifted, the navel coming towards the spine. Nice, beautiful. So from there, take the left foot back about 3 feet. We're going to face for us, it's the room. We're going to face the room. So we're going to come into Parsva So the front foot is facing forward. The back toes turn in just a little bit. The body is really cool. It's proportional. So my wingspan, my ankles would be right underneath my wrists, give or take. And then as I exhale, I'm going to bend my knee in the direction of the middle toe as the pelvis sinks straight down. Nice. I'm staying grounded in the back foot. Arms are spreading from the collarbones. Feel the tailbone reach down again, so there's the length in the spine. Inhale deeply into the chest. As I exhale, I'm going to reach forward like I'm going to touch the front of the room. And then when I get to the furthest point, bring the elbow, rest it gently on the knee, and then take this top arm overhead, relaxing the shoulder. So you can do it this way. You can also bring your hand to the inside of the foot if that's comfortable for you. And so we're going to move with the breath again, linking action and movement, breath and awareness. So getting really long through this whole side. And then as I exhale, bring the hand down towards the hip, gazing down towards the floor. So inhale, I look up, the arm comes up. Exhale, gazing down, bringing the hand down. And just for fun, we're going to put a little bit of sound to it again. So for the next 2, inhale up, exhale that yam again. Yam. Beautiful. Inhale, come back up. Yam. Nice. Inhale, come back up. This time we're going to stay there and really bring our attention to filling this side of the lung. We still want to have length in the back. And again, there's this action of taking the low ribs towards each other so that we fill out the back. The tailbone reaching down towards his back heel, feeling as grounded in the front as you do in the back. Nice, bringing that energy to fill out that lung. Beautiful. So this time, as you exhale, bring the hand back down towards the hip, and we're actually going to place it on the hip this time. And then we're going to gaze down in front of the front foot, take the hand and place it a little bit in front of the foot. And then we're sort of going to hop our way up and switch, so the weight that was in the back leg now comes into the front hand, and we're coming up into Ardha Chandrasana. Nice. So you can bring your top arm overhead and gaze up, potentially, or play with that. Nice. Tailbone again, reaching down towards the heel. Go ahead and take the foot that's up in the air a little bit forward. Nice. Now take the tailbone down and reach the collarbones towards the front of the room. Beautiful. And then we'll sort of bring everything back together into a forward fold. So you can drop the foot down towards the other foot, the hand down. Bend your knees as you need to. Wiggle out a little bit. Nice. And then roll up one vertebrae at a time. Good. So now let's do the other side. So we're not facing the back wall. We're going to have this become the front of the room. Nice. And take the right foot back. Nice. And then bend the knee in the direction of the middle toe. Actually, come back out of it for a second. And let's extend through the arms. So we have that expansion through the chest, breathing up into the chest, tailbone rooting down. If the flower grows, it has to have a stalk and roots. So we're rooting down. Nice. And now bend the knee in the direction of the middle toe. Pelvis sinks straight down. We stay grounded through back here. The toes can lift. Nice. And now go ahead and reach towards that wall as far as you can. Beautiful. And now bring the elbow lightly to that front knee or to the floor, whichever works best for you. Right. Take the low ribs towards each other. And then inhale, the arm floats out overhead. And as we exhale, we bring it back down towards the hip. Nice. So moving with your breath. It's kind of funny to, this is an inner experience. And so we want to be the inner flow to guide us in some ways. And I'm not necessarily seeing what you're looking like. So encourage and invite you to listen to that inner flow, that inner breath. Nice. So the last two, let's add some sound to it. Inhale the arm up. Exhale. Yam. Navel towards the spine. Inhale. Yam. Beautiful. And then this time the arm comes up overhead. And we hold it and we sort of experience what it's like to bring our attention and to bring that breath into this side of the lung, kind of opening, massaging the heart, bringing life and energy into our own heart, into our own life. Nice. And then making sure it's grounded by that navel drawing towards the spine, the tailbone reaching down towards that back heel. Beautiful. And then with the next exhale, bring the hand down towards the hip. Bring the other hand in front of the big toe and the inside a little bit. And then we just shift the weight. So the weight from the back leg comes into the front hand. As we open the hips to the side, press into this back heel. Nice. Reach the collarbones forward and kind of spin open a little bit. Nice. If you'd like, you can bring that top arm overhead. So again, we're kind of creating more space in the whole side body. Back bends and laterals help bring energy to this area, wake us up. Nice. Go ahead and bring the back foot, the top foot a little bit forward. Nice. And that gives space for the tailbone to come down. One more big breath. And then with the next exhale, sort of bring everything down into your forward fold. Shake out any tension that might have come up in the jaw or the shoulders. Beautiful. And then we'll roll up slowly, one vertebrae at a time with a little bit of a bend in the knee. Nice. And so stand there for a moment. We've been in the momentum of practice, and we want to give ourselves a chance to come back into ourselves. What is it, your experience in this center right here, around the chest? Just by bringing awareness there, we can actually enliven it. Enliven that sort of uplifting, waking up feeling. So let's go ahead and come to this side of the mat. Beautiful. So from there, we're going to reach that tailbone down and inhale the arms up overhead. So we've got the length here. And this time, let's exhale, bring the hands down behind us, clasp the fingers together, keep the tailbone rooted down, and then lift the collarbone, squeezing the upper arms together. See if you can continue to keep the tailbone grounded, the navel drawing towards the spine, and the collarbones lift even more. You might even look up towards the ceiling, letting the head begin to fall back, opening up the throat as well as the heart. Nice. That exhale is really important here to support the low back, that navel drawing towards the spine. Nice. One more breath. Release the hands, inhale the arms up overhead, keeping the tailbone grounded, the collarbones lifted, and this time we'll exhale into a forward fold, keeping a nice long back, bending the knees as you need to, and then step back into your downward facing dog. Nice. Just for a moment, we're going to come back into plank, so stacking the shoulders over the wrists. We're going to come into Vashisthasana, so there's a couple different versions. One is to take the right knee and place it down on the floor. Nice. And then open the hips up. The back inner arch of the foot's on the floor. And then this arm can lift up. Let's come into the other version so they can see that. So come back into plank for a moment. Nice. Nice. Press into the heels. And then we're going to turn so that the front foot's on the inside and the back foot's on the outside, one stacked in front of the other. Nice. And then lift that arm up. Beautiful. The other version is to put the front foot on top of the back foot. So pick whichever version feels right for you. Nice. That bottom hand, the fingers spread wide, sort of lifting up out of the wrist. And then to open up this side of the body, we're going to again take the fingertips towards the front of the room. And we're actually going to bow the side body. So sort of open up all this space here. Beautiful. As the tailbone comes down. Really breathe into opening and moving any stagnation. Nice. One more breath. Remembering to take those low ribs towards each other. Nice. And then come back into your plank. You can come to your knees and rest for a moment if that is feeling good for you. Nice. And then we'll switch and you can bring your hands to the other side so that when you come back into it, you're not facing away, you're facing that way. So go ahead and just turn around. Nice. Okay, and then coming into your plank, coming to the other side. Beautiful. Lifting the arm up, taking the tailbone down, the lower ribs towards each other, and then the arm overhead to sort of open up this side of the body. Really deep breaths, attention and intention. So the attention to this area and the intention of opening it, moving stagnation with the breath, gently, nourishing. Nice. Beautiful. And then go ahead, come back into plank. And then let's go ahead and bring the knees down and press back into a child's pose just to rest for a moment. Nice, the arms stretched out overhead. And when you breathe here, be really mindful of what it feels like on the back side of the heart. Bring the breath up to the back side of the heart, opening up anything that might be held there. Nice. So we'll walk ourselves up to sit back on our hips for just a moment, and then we're going to come all the way onto our backs. So however you need to get there, perfect. Beautiful. So get comfortable on your back. Go ahead and lift up your hips and sort of draw the tailbone down so you can feel the low back really connect to the earth. This is going to be important for where we go next. So the low back's connected to the earth. We're going to take our hands palms face down. Nice. And then we're going to lift the feet, the soles of the feet facing the ceiling. Nice. So go ahead and bring your toes back towards you. Press into the heels and feel that low back really sink down. And notice that our feet are still hip-width distance apart. So for the next 5 or 6 breaths, feel that navel draw towards the spine. Now, if you're feeling like the low back is lifting up off the floor, then you can go ahead and sit up on your hands. So you make like the size of a dinner plate right about there. And you can sit there, and that gives a little bit more protection for the low back. Nice. Your legs might shake a little bit, but that's okay. And this is after all that back bending, helping to stabilize the sacrum. Nice. And then hug your knees towards the chest and rock from side to side. So bring the hands down towards either side of the hips, palms face down. Bring the feet down, hip-width distance apart. Nice. The feet parallel to each other. And then we'll just gently take the heels out again. And this time we're going to move into Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose, on the breath. So as you inhale, roll up the spine 1 vertebrae at a time, lifting the hips, the knees drawing directly away from you. Nice. And as you exhale, roll back down 1 vertebrae at a time. Nice. Do that 2 more times. As the hips lift, feel the inner thighs roll towards the floor. Nice. Creates more space for that tailbone. And then we draw that breath all the way up into the chest and exhale and release down. Nice. 1 more time. Beautiful. So this time, we're going to come up again, remembering to press into all 4 corners of the feet as you do so. And then reach underneath of you again, clasp the fingers together, press into the upper arms. The chin is drawn in a little bit, the back of the head is really connecting to the earth. And then for 5 breaths, every time you inhale, feel and sense that you're sort of opening the chest a little bit more, drawing it towards the chin. Nice. Tailbone continues to draw down, navel continues to move towards the spine. Gently, with each breath, opening behind the sternum. Nice. And then with the next breath, go ahead and release the hands, roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Nice. Rock back and forth. And then we're going to roll over to the right side and come onto our bellies. So bring the hands down towards your hips. Nice. Palms face up this time. And we're going to inhale into Shalabhasana. So feel like your legs are getting really, really long. And as you inhale, they get so long, they lift up off the floor. And the chest lifts up off the floor as well. So you're reaching the fingertips back towards the heels. Nice. The hands can come up off the floor and face each other. Nice. Keep the chin in a little bit so there's a little bit of length in that neck. Really feel the chest open, tailbone reaching down, inner thighs rolling up. All the things we've been practicing, right? Nice. 1 more breath. Come up a little bit higher. And then exhale and release back down. And then rock the sacrum from side to side a little bit. Beautiful. Kind of releases some of the tension there. So depending on your body, you can do that again, or you can come into the next posture, which is to bend the knees. Nice. Clasp, ideally, the ankles. Nice. Sometimes we go for the tops of the feet, but we're working towards the ankles. And then you're going to take the toes and reach them down towards the floor, so they're moving away from you. Nice. Now take the shins like you're going to reach them towards the back of the room. You're going to come up a little bit and reach the chest like you're moving it the opposite directions toward the front of the room. So you get the length in the slow spine first. And then as you inhale, take the soles of the feet towards the ceiling and lift yourself up, keeping that chin in a little bit so we have the length here. Beautiful. So 3, 4, 5 full breaths. You'll notice you'll want to make your breath a little shorter here, but try to make it full and big and really expansive in the chest. Nice. That sort of sun beginning to shine out, the sun of your own heart. Beautiful. Go ahead and release down. Release the hands and sort of windshield wiper the knees back and forth a little bit. There you go. And then let the legs be long and shake the sacrum out a little bit. Nice. So we'll roll back over onto our backs. Nice. Once again, bring the soles of the feet towards the ceiling, stabilizing the low back. Just for a breath or two. You can either sit up on your hands or have the palms down. Nice. And then take the right leg, taking 3 breaths to lower it down towards the floor, keeping the opposite leg up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Nice. Let it come all the way down. And then hug the opposite knee in towards the chest, just for a moment. Beautiful. And we'll take that knee across the body to come into a spinal twist. So we bring it across the body. And you might notice that the opposite shoulder comes up off the floor. And we want that to be stabilized on the floor. So what you can do is you can take this right arm, bend it, press into the elbow so that you can lift up this shoulder and bring the other one down a little bit more. And then once you have that connection, open the arms up to the side. Beautiful. And breathe into the low ribs here. So it's a little contracted because it's in a twist. Nice. To make the twist even more active, we're going to take this long leg, press into the heel. Nice. And then take this inner thigh and roll it towards the floor behind you. Nice. And then smile at yourself a little bit. Feel the lovely life force moving. And then inhale and bring that knee back up to center. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. And often we need to lift our hips up and realign so the spine is straight. Nice. And then we'll bring both feet up towards the ceiling again. Nice. Hands are down. Beautiful. And then we'll take the other foot, the left foot this time, slowly down towards the floor. Pressing into the heel as you do so. Nice. Nice. And then hug the knee in towards the chest. Beautiful. Bring the right arm out to the side. Keep the knee in the left hand and bring it across the body. Beautiful. And then we have that length pressing into this heel that's on the floor, the inner thigh, rolling back. And if you need to lift up the shoulders to ground the opposite shoulder down, you're welcome to do that. Bring the arms out to the side. And several nice big deep breaths. Beautiful. Inhaling the leg back up to center. Nice. Bringing the soles of the feet to the floor, realigning the hips. Nice. And bringing the hands back down towards the side. And we'll come into a short shavasana. So let your legs be long. Nice. Let the palms be up. If you feel a little bit like you need to align, hug the knees in towards the chest first and then come into your shavasana. Nice. So the legs can be as wide as your mat. The arms can be a little bit wider than maybe they normally are. Nice. And if you want to shake, kind of roll back and forth a little bit, shake out the feet to release the groin again. Nice. So take a moment to systematically relax the body. So feeling the jaw relax, feeling the eyes deepen into the eye sockets, feeling the back of the shoulder blades connect with the earth, the length of the arms connect with the earth, allowing the muscles and the bones to soften. Feel the muscles and bones around the heart and lungs soften. And the belly. Feel the whole pelvic structure be held by the earth and the muscles softening. And then the whole length of the legs, from the hips to the knees, and the knees to the ankles, surrendering to the earth. All the way out through the bones of the feet. Letting the whole body sink. And then take your mind's eye and let it rest on this place in the chest. So instead of feeling the rise and fall of the navel, and you might even take 2 or 3 deep breaths again to sort of feel that rise and fall of the chest. In the chest is a spark. It's the spark of us, the spark of creation. And sometimes it feels a little hidden behind tiredness or beliefs or thoughts. But it's always there. It's in every single person. So sort of imagine, if you need to imagine, or sense, if you can sense it, that light, that spark that lives in the chest. Allowing it to grow. So staying connected to that, we'll begin to gently wake the body up. So you can almost feel it radiate down through the arms to the tips of the fingers, gently waking up the fingers from the inside. And then as you breathe in, feel it radiate down to the toes. And begin to slightly wiggle the toes. And then bend the knees and roll over to the right side, resting your head in your arms for a moment. Reconnecting to to that brilliance that lives in you, that is you. And then we'll use our hands to press ourselves up and find a comfortable seat, either on a bolster or some blankets or pillows, making sure the hips are a little bit higher than the knees so we can have that length in the spine. Nice. We'll do just a few minutes of breath work into a short kriya. So find your center, find your seat, feel that connection of the sit bones onto the earth. Relax the shoulders, nothing to do or get right, just an experiment. Nice. Feel the jaw relax, feel the top of the head float, the ridge on the back of the skull lifts away from the base of the neck, and those collarbones expanding, the sternum feeling light and lifted. And then feel the breath in that space. Nice. So we're going to shape the breath again here, using whatever count is comfortable for you. And we're going to start with a simple 1-to-1 breath through the nostrils. So I'm going to use an example of 4 again. So we'll inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. So we're going to get that rhythm in us again. Feeling the breath come all the way up to the chest. And then at the top of the inhale, we're going to insert a hold of the same length. So we're using our example. Inhaling 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. When you hold the breath, drop your awareness into the chest, sort of experiencing that light. That might be a little bit further away some days than others, but if we put our attention there, it grows. And so for about a minute, inhaling, holding the breath in, dropping the awareness into the chest, experiencing that like sun rising, radiating, and then exhale as you need to. At some point, you'll feel this expansion, this brightness, this light in the chest. And at that point, you can let the breathing technique go. Leave the hold off, breathe in and out naturally, resting your awareness in this light. And then take a moment to simply smile at this light, at the light of your own heart, recognizing its brilliance, its creativity, and its beauty. And then bring your hands together in a prayer position in front of your heart, grounding the knuckles of the thumbs into that space, into the sternum, so you can really connect to the physicality of this. And bowing down to that beauty that lives in you. Namaste.